So I was very excited, being able to get a call up from a national team. My family's and I's emotions were through the roof, knowing that the countless work that I've done throughout my years of playing football was starting to pay off at such a high level. The experience is one that I'll remember for the rest of my life. Being so young, getting called up to Nations League was a big deal for me. And going into the tournament, playing against some top sides, I generated this sense of how the game is actually played at such a high level. And for me personally, it's developed me into the player I am today, because I was able to adapt a play style and lifestyle of such a high level of the game. And for that, it's shaped me through my career playing football. Yeah, so being such a young guy going into a team with a lot of older players, there were a few key players who kind of took me underneath their wing, and showed me the lifestyle of how the game is operated on the field and off the field. There's one player specifically, JC Mack. He's played all over the world. He played for the Tampa Bay Rowdies, and he's also played in some top clubs overseas. And just being able to be like he was my goal at such a young age. And off the field, he carried himself very professionally. He took care of his body very well, ate the right foods. And for me at the time, I didn't really have a sense in what those things were and how to go about them. But he mentored me and showed me how the game is actually played at such a high level, and how you should take care of yourself off and on the field and carry yourself when you're around people. Yeah, so when Jiba and his staff first came to me and told me that I was going to be the captain of the men's national team, I was shocked. Very excited, but I was shocked knowing that at such a young age and so early on in my career that I was going to be able to lead such a special group of guys in the coming games. It gave me this sense of that hard work does pay off, and for me, that was my image that I was going to project to the guys and young kids on the island and show them that there is a way out if you work really hard for it. And also for my family and my dad's side of the family, it was a great accomplishment. My dad came from Christiansted, St. Croix, very small island, and it was just very small place, very limited resources. And for me, he's super proud and loving that I'll be able to carry on his legacy as we move forward as a captain of the men's national team. Good question. So yeah, me and my brother are really close in age, and we grew up our whole lives playing together. So when he got us called up to the national team, I knew that this was going to be a memory that will last with us for a lifetime. When my brother came in, he wasn't a starter right away, and I saw this as the perfect moment for me to start shaping him into the person that I know that he could be. And just through 2 years, my brother is now the starting men's goalkeeper of the men's national team. And the belief that he had in me as a leader gave me this sense of a leadership role that I didn't know that I could fulfill. And through him, I hope to continue to inspire others in the next generations as time goes on.
I was definitely happy to receive the call up again. I haven't been involved in the last couple camps. That was my own personal decision, but I was happy to definitely get back into the run of things and see how this new coach and new system was going to be. And obviously, my mom being Puerto Rican and my side of the family being from there, it was nice to represent the island. So I was happy about it.
Yeah, the setup was amazing, and being at a Premier League team at the time was pretty special. In England, they break the academies up into different categories, and Villa was a category one, which is the highest level that you could be, which is in terms of education, like playing ability, the players, the facilities. So it was just a massive leap in professionalism coming from LA. It was definitely hard moving over. I moved by myself, and I was in host families the whole time I was there. So that was probably the biggest culture shock for me, was just living with different, people. My dad's English, which helped me a bit, but obviously coming from California and going to Birmingham, which is one of the more industrial cities in England, was definitely tough. Just adjusting to that mentality and the environment that I was put in at a quite young age.
So yeah, going to England definitely made me more into a man. Like being in LA is being in a bubble, no matter where you are, really. So just getting out of my comfort zone was a massive positive step for me. And then everything, like just having the resources there, I was able to develop and struggle a lot at times, but ultimately looking back now, that really helped me like move forward into who I am today as a player and as a person. So I'm grateful for that opportunity. The one particular story that was quite funny was the guy that I lived with in the Irish football was doing rehab. And I went to go tell him basically that we were leaving, and I felt a push come from behind, and like as they're going to push me into the pool, and I look, and it's Jack Grealish. So basically, he was going to give me a jersey to give back to our Dix lady. So it was a funny kind of situation, but it showed like the cohesion between the first team and the academy, and it made it as if like going to that first team wasn't completely unachievable. So just things like that, being in and around the first team guys, such as like John Terry, Mike Richards, just seeing these guys and seeing them up close, and actually knowing that it's a team to make it one day is very like they're different than other academies. Keep the first team as beautiful and simple.
The decision came fairly easily, I think. I mean, the last couple of years before I moved here, there was a lot of traveling for football, and a lot of conversations where I wanted to kind of get out, try something different, get into new environments, different coaches, different style of play, kind of get out on my own a bit more, where I could take charge of what I wanted to do, how I wanted to do it. So for me, it was an easy decision. For family, it came a little bit harder. They always wanted me to stay home, stay close to them, which was always nice. But I think they started to realize closer to the move date that I was more ready than they thought I was, and it was something that I always wanted to do and kind of get under my feet, out of my own. Yeah, so before the Asian Cup in December, I got to go over to Lebanon for a bit with the team for the first time. It was on very short notice, which was always a bit hard to work around. But I think it was a good step for me to take. I had the option to do it if I could or not do it, and I'm glad I definitely did it. I think it helped bring me closer to the guys that I'm going to play with, that I played with in Australia in these last couple matches. And it got a good feeling between me and the coach of kind of what he expected, what I expected out of myself, how he wanted me to come in and everything like that. I think it was a big learning stage as well. On international duty, it's always very different feeling to normal training. There's a lot more passion on the line. Obviously, you're representing your country and you never want to let them down. So I think learning that everybody in the team is always going to try and be a leader for not only themselves, but to show what the country kind of has behind them. And then also just the competitiveness in training to want to start represent your country first and foremost was definitely new to me, because you got guys that off the field always very friendly, but when you come onto the field there's always a lot of back and forth battles to try and beat one another to the spot while still being tight knit and knowing the end goal is to not just better yourself, but to better the country and represent the country first and foremost. I think just the welcome that the players kind of brought to me in this second camp, when they knew I was definitely going to be in the squad, was a lot different. In the first camp as well, they were always very nice people, very happy to have me there and kind of see where I'd step off first. And then coming into Australia, kind of the welcome and the happiness to have me around training, wanting me to play, helping me especially learn the language a bit more as well, because it's something I learned when I was younger a bit, but then you lose it as you get older when you don't speak. So just them helping me through those steps and then encouraging me more and more in the trainings, when we're on the bench, telling me about mindset, keeping my mind right, be ready. Just little stuff like that made me feel, okay, they want me here, they're happy to have me here, and they're ready to kind of see me play for them. Emotionally, it was very nice. It was an experience that it's hard to describe sometimes to people, because it's just a different feeling you have when you're wearing the jersey and stepping out onto the field with everyone. After the game, there was a lot of emotions going on. Obviously, family were excited, but then also there was a lot of tears. It was also the first time I saw a lot of them in about a year, which was beautiful. So for them to see me play in front of them and then represent a country and a culture that means so much to me growing up and my family growing up was always very amazing. And I think just for them to see how I've progressed in the year that I've been born was just really nice for them. A lot of it took a lot of pride for them to kind of come out, watch me, let me go, and then kind of see how well I've done and progressed to get to the point where I get to represent my country in front of 40,000 people at home.